So I can't believe that we've actually been able to take away attention from the Expropriation Act. And this budget speech that was postponed now till the 12th of March was postponed due to there being a dispute in the potential increase of VAT by 2%. Now, this is, and I think I can speak on behalf of most consumers, this is devastating. The cost of living is already high enough. So to now have an additional 2% that we have to pay on every product will immensely impact our pockets. Now, from an understanding perspective, it's quite easy to calculate what this implication could be for you. Most of the products that we buy are standard rated products, so you'd be able to look at your expenditure on a monthly basis, do the calculation of the 15%, and now imagine it to be 17%. So for you as a consumer to understand the implications of this increase, you would be able to budget for it and make a determination as to whether it's affordable or not. Not that you have much of a choice, unfortunately, if this amendment does go through. I don't want to speak politically at all. I don't want to give my opinion on any sort of government administration and whether they're doing things right or wrong. My understanding from The Economist is this increase was brought into play due to them wanting to increase certain grants and other expenditure, public service expenditure that they'd like to provide for with this increase. Now, obviously, as we very intuitively, we all understand, a budget can only be adjusted in one of two ways. You either increase the income or decrease the expenditure. So in this instance, as a country, you either increase the tax or you decrease the expenditure. And that is what the debate is going to be. I'm assuming up until the 12th of March is whether it makes sense to increase or whether one should look at decreasing expenditure. But again, that's a political decision, has nothing to do with legal ramifications. Now, from a legal perspective, we need to understand the difference in consumer. So you have the consumer, the end user, and then you have somewhere in the middle, the businesses that take on certain products and sell it on to the end user. So the biggest impact will obviously be on the end user, because the end user is the one that ultimately carries this new increase in VAT. As a business, if you're able to claim input, so that basically means that when you charge a client and they pay you VAT, you're able to claim it back from the VAT that you've paid towards some supplier somewhere up the chain. If you're able to claim the input, then fortunately you'll be able to claim these amounts back. So as a business, how will this impact you? Not as much, obviously, as the end consumer, but in the property space, one might want to watch out for this increase, because especially in the residential property space, where you might be doing certain improvements to residential properties that you own, that you're keeping as long-term investments, that you lease as a long-term investment that's exempt from VAT, be very, very careful, because there your expenditure is going to go up. And unfortunately, because the supply of accommodation is VAT exempt, you'll not be able to claim that expenditure as input tax. So that is just something to note. There's multiple businesses, but the one business that I would be very careful with is the residential property investors and the potential higher cost of having to do improvements and repairs to properties.